This week, a brand new movie show looks at the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie about the Disney ride that never ends.
Or Pirates of the Caribbean 5, The Curse of Johnny Depp getting divorced and needing the money.
Also this week, Baywatch.
I'm Michael Bay, and I demand things to be awesome.
Baywatch. We'll take that. Let's make magic. Welcome to the new movie show. Paul Preston here with Karen and Adam to goof on all the new movies. Later, we'll be joined by one of the founders of NovaCon, the Northern Virginia ComicCon. Former guest of our old show, The Movie Showcast, Michael McNutt, will join us for shenanigans and movie talk. Hollywood just keeps putting out movies, so here we are every week, and this week's comedy show takes on the latest Pirates of the Caribbean film and Baywatch. It's a huge holiday weekend, so
let's do this!
Hollywood Boulevard Jack Sparrow's shower up because he returns this Friday in Pirates of the Caribbean, Return of the Curse of the Creature's Ghost.
The Return of the Curse of the Creature's Ghost.
Yes, let's kick off the show with Pirates of the Caribbean, Son of the Bride of the Return of the Night of the Day of the Dawn of the Revenge.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow.
What? The subtitle for this entry is actually Dead Men Tell No Tales. Dead Men Tell No Tales. Now, where have I heard that before?
Oh, maybe they're right at Disneyland.
No, it's what Trump said to Comey in their private meeting, according to that memo. It'll all come out in the testimony. Johnny Depp returns for the 5th time in the role that made him an international star. No, not Nick of Time.
Those are all mistakes, Otto. I looked him up.
Captain Jack Sparrow, everyone's favorite functioning alcoholic, who, unlike your father, uses his drunken antics to save the day instead of ruin Christmas.
Once again, we see the adventurous spirit of the pirate life, conquering oceans and singing sea shanties. Not because they're pirates, but because Jack Sparrow's hipster roommate Todd has decided that he now only listens to sea shanties.
Oh, we'd be alright if the wind was in our sails.
Come on, Todd, turn it down.
Be prepared for big changes, though. To keep swashbuckling appealing to a modern, sophisticated youth audience, Jerry Bruckheimer decided to give the pirates a more modern-day look and feel.
This is your final warning! Stop the ship! We are the
But Jack's pirating days catch up with him when Captain Armando Salazar, played by Javier Bardem, sets out to seek revenge on Sparrow for taking all his booty. Yeah, please, keep the booty, keep the booty, keep the booty. It's fine, it's yours.
You see, years ago, Jack Sparrow thought he had brought an end to Armando Salazar after he stole all his treasure and destroyed his ship, leaving Salazar and his men for dead. But as it turns out, Salazar is not quite entirely dead.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Jack's about to find out that thanks to modern advances in motion capture technology, Salazar has amassed a crew of ghosts intent on killing all the pirates at sea, and especially the infamous Jack Sparrow.
Wow, the infamous? Infamous?
Coming to Jack's aid is Karina Smythe, a sassy astronomer played by Kaya Scodelario, who may find Jack's safety at the end of a diary of clues. Unfortunately, this particular diary leads her to discover Greg Heffley pooping his pants in church. Seriously? How did my reference to Diary of a Wimpy Kid the Long Haul just go right over your head? That movie came out last week. As a matter of fact, it's still in theaters.
Still?
This film is, of course, based on the Disneyland ride of the same name. Although Johnny Depp did not model much of his performance on the ride's animatronic puppet, unlike Warren G. Harding in the Hall of Presidents, who has guided every role played by Sam Worthington.
So another Johnny Depp movie is upon us, and we still don't know what his real voice sounds like.
Speaking of the dead coming to life, Keira Knightley makes another ghostly appearance as Elizabeth Swann.
Well, she's not actually back from the dead in this movie. She's just making a return to the franchise after not being cast in the last Pirates movie.
Wait, you mean Keira Knightley hasn't been playing an undead skeleton in these movies all along?
Nope.
Huh.
You're probably asking, what movie is Dwayne Johnson in this month? Well, our next movie restores the Baywatch brand, whatever that means. It's the Chips of this week.
Not only has the size of the screen for Baywatch been increased, but so has the ticket price, and also the size of the lead actor, The Rock.
Half black, half Samoan, used to call him Tony Rocky Howard.
This movie was greenlit based solely on the premise that Dwayne Johnson is shirtless for most of it.
We're the heart and soul of this very beach. We protect when other people don't want to protect.
Fans of the television series of the same name know that the show was canceled in part because of its star, David Hasselhoff, who had a bit of a drinking problem. Here, Hasselhoff shows up in a cameo. Actually, he'll do that for any movie. But keep an eye open for him in Baywatch and Piranha 3 Double D. And if you're still having fun, Sharknado 3. But with almost 16 years since the last episode aired, I'm sure the writers for this movie were able to come up with a fresh new adventure for the team of copper-toned beauties to tackle. Oh wait, I'm being handed something. No, I'm being told this is indeed the same old hackneyed story about drugs on the beach, as familiar as the sand you can't wait to get out of your butt crack. Well, in that case, help, lifeguard, murder.
Welcome to Baywatch.
Apparently, the Baywatch is a city-funded program, and the program is in jeopardy of being canceled. Talk about life imitating art.
Zac Efron returns to expand his comedy career of being in the same scenes as funny people. Here, he plays another dopey, hard-partying, not-so-likable hunk. But despite his less-than-enlightened ways, Brody seems to be the only one smart enough to repeatedly realize that they're just lifeguards.
Am I the only one that thinks this is clearly a job for the police?
Thank you, Blue-Eyed Demon. You got one job. Make sure swim-happy white people don't drown.
Efron plays hotshot former Olympic swimmer Matt Brody, who is hand-picked to be part of the new face of the Baywatch team, with Johnson's Mitch Buchanan, in an attempt to bring credibility to the embattled program. Hoping for Michael Phelps, instead they get Ryan Lochte.
And just as Brody arrives at the beach, so do the drugs.
Drugs, murder, dead body on our beach, and it all started once she took over.
Some people are up to no good.
The Baywatch team suspects a shady club owner for all the drugs and dead bodies at the beach, probably because that's where they are coming from.
Jason Bourne ain't got shit on me.
But before the Baywatch team can be certain the most obvious person is indeed the culprit, they spend 116 minutes making dick jokes, just to be sure.
Make my pecs a little bigger, and don't cover up my front bump.
You got it. Huge dick.
Big dick.
The story seems to focus a lot on Johnson and Efron,
Attorneys at law.
thus missing a fundamental element of what made Baywatch watchable: the hot babes. Yes, the main characters have always been Mitch and whatever male sidekick du jour was on that season, but the two biggest stars of that show were always Pamela Anderson.
Usually Dwayne Johnson comes in to save a franchise after a few films. Can't be good that he's in a movie franchise this early. And with that, we go to Adam.
I know we have kind of like a little cynical vibe going on and we're kind of joking and stuff, but we are actually rarely super critical of a movie. I say that to preface the fact that this movie looks like total garbage. I mean, all the evidence is there. One of the explosions is in the trailer 3 times, whereas we all know a real movie would actually have 3 explosions. They get gay in the trailer, always a desperate joke.
Why do your balls sound like 3-year-old girls?
I don't know, man. That's just how they talk. And the trailer's punchline is forced jocularity.
You people! Oh, you don't get to say that. You're just 10.
Right on.
Come on, brother.
Everything that you guys are talking about sounds like a really entertaining but far-fetched TV show.
Fuck off every time with that. They're trying to 21 Jump Street this film, and that is not easy to do. I didn't think 21 Jump Street was going to be any good. I saw it. It's hilarious. The sequel's even better, and I would still never go see it.
And we are back for a quick talk with our brother from other podcast mothers. Now the head, he was a former guest on the movie Showcast, the podcast we had before we began the new movie show. And now he's running NovaCon, the Northern Virginia ComicCon. And I want to hear all about it because it's going to be the first inaugural year. And we welcome in Michael McNutt.
Yay!
Finally!
Finally! The nut has come back to... Wait, you guys changed the name, though.
the movie guys.
The movie guys.
To Burbank.
The movie guy. Oh, yeah, Burbank.
To the
I should've said
Admirals Club. We're still the Admirals Club.
Well, then I have to do it all over again then. God. It's one take. I thought it was one take Mike.
Right before The Rock went on stage, a dude would just come up and say, Santa Fe. Finally!
Yeah.
He knows.
It is. It's just like a band.
Gotta remember.
They never remember where they are from night to night.
Kansas City. Finally!
All those concussions.
Now, explain to me. Okay, so Nova, is it Northern Virginia, but isn't Virginia VI?
No. Actually, that's the Virgin Islands.
Oh, okay. So Virginia's VA.
Virginia is initials are VA, NO, Northern, and everyone who's from. You don't ever say when you're from Virginia. Everyone's always thinking you're from Richmond, you're from the South. You say Northern Virginia, it gives you kind of sedity. You're a little classy. You class Virginia up a little bit, and that's what we're doing. It's the first premier ComicCon in Northern Virginia, first one of its kind. Our premier year, thenovacon.com for all you folks out there all over the country. We don't care. It's a Northern Virginia-based con, but as of with all cons, we love all sorts of people from everywhere.
And it's at the Ritz-Carlton, so he's not playing.
Yes, Muffy, it's at the Ritz-Carlton.
So it's worth flying across the country and going to it, even if it's just for the bed.
And by the way, before we start Ritz-Carlton, Muffy, it's very affordable rates, $139 a night at the NovaCon.
That's great.
What's the rate to get into the con itself?
The con rate, the tickets vary between $20 and $25 depending on which day. So Friday is kind of a half day, but we have a lot of special events yet to be announced. But one of them is a high fashion cosplay, kind of a runway type cosplay contest that first night. Saturday is kind of the open, typical big time con day cosplay contest. A lot of our celebrity panels, an after party that evening featuring our own beer. We have two breweries out in Northern Virginia who actually crafted our own beer called Nova Confounded.
That's great. That's such a cool name.
Yeah, and then Sunday is the big day. It's Stranger Sunday, where we will have the entire ballroom will kind of be transformed into the Upside Down. So we have three cast members of the award-winning show Stranger Things. We have Barb, Mr. Clark, not Dr. Clark, and Agent Connie Frazier. So we'll have Randy Havens, Catherine Dyer, and Shannon Purser. Barb, we found Barb.
Best. That won at the SAG Awards for Best Ensemble of a Television Show.
Yep.
So those are all SAG Award-winning actors.
Yeah, well, the kids are great.
But like he said they found Barb. Somebody had to.
We found Barb. Yeah. Someone had to, and the NovaCon did.
Yeah. If anyone was going to. Thank God it was you.
Thank God it was.
But now I'm getting this feeling maybe the Upside Down is just Northern Virginia.
It could be.
It could be. Now it's actually Manassas, Virginia is the Upside Down. For all you folks familiar with Northern Virginia,
now,
Manassas.
It is our goal to get out there, so we got to fire up a GoFundMe or something to fly out there and
or start walking now.
Or start walking, or bring the big old superhero roast out to the event.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Big ups to DCW50, the CW affiliate in Washington, D.C. They're our media partner. Big ups to the Escape Room and Academy Mortgage. I got to do all these things. What, like when you're a boxer, you have to name all the sponsors after you win?
Which is harder because you just got hit in the head.
Yeah, exactly. You have to remember all GoPro and
all these fake Red Balls. Red Bull. Okay, sure.
Blue Balls. Red Bull. Oh, sorry.
Now explain to us your shirt, because can we get shirts like that at the con?
I think you can. We'll be giving those away during different trivia nights. This is our special edition that was only 100 of them were made.
Oh,
and it was part of the initial, not GoFundMe, Indiegogo. I don't know what we use for crowdfunding. Kickstarter?
There's a lot of them.
I'm not sure.
Indiegogo? Spark?
One of them. It was one of them, where certain people, based on the amount that they donated, received this shirt. I believe we have a couple more hanging around, and I'll be giving them away because I am not only one of the planners, one of the partners, but I'm also going to be the master of ceremonies at the NovaCon. So I'll be on stage doing a little dance, chucking a little jive, hanging out, talking to all the good people there in Northern Virginia.
Are you going to have a cartoon, somebody dressed up like the cartoon? I think I really need to have someone in that character.
You got to have a dude walk around like that.
We're hoping so. Budgets are tight at the NovaCon, first time con. But yeah, that's the plan, is to eventually have someone dressed up in this outfit. We're hoping to have a kids section where the kids will actually learn how to draw, ink, and color. I believe we call him NovaNaut. He's an astronaut. So we're going to have kids section. We're going to have tons of photo opportunities. We're going to have some Guardians of the Galaxy standees. Someone has designed a Stranger Things kind of upside down photo opportunity that people can take selfies for free. And of course, we have our celebrities, John Wesley Shipp of The Flash back in the 90s and The Flash now in 2017. Kelly Hu, who was in The Scorpion King, who was also in Arrow and
Say
X2.
That slower.
Kelly Hu. She is mesmerizing. I give her that. Of course, the folks from Stranger Things. Eduardo Sanchez, who's going to be the moderator for the Stranger Things panel. William
he's
Catt,
your director of
Blair Witch Project.
For all those who want to know.
Revolutionary filmmaker.
So is he from there? Because
he is from Maryland. He is
right?
from suburban Maryland. So yeah. There's a very kind of metropolitan DC flair to it, but also far-reaching. We have William Catt, who the greatest American hero, and Carrie, and who has been one of the bigger announcements we've had. So we announced William Catt, and then you kind of see the pattern here. We have John Wesley, who was in the Flashback in the 90s, one of the first TV shows featuring a mainstream character, along with, back in the day, Linda Carter. But
now you watch Flash?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I watched Battlestar Galactica, and the late Richard Hatch.
Yes.
Just died recently, but he came on and he played Tom Zarek. And I don't know if you watched it, but I was like, oh, here comes a little cameo. And he had this fantastic character.
Yeah.
And he was great in it.
Fantastic.
And it was such a huge arc his character had, and it was just the best. I'm like, wow, he didn't come in and just like, hey, remember me from the old show? He came in and played a character and killed it.
Yeah.
Ship on the new Flash, is he doing the same?
Well, Ship in the new Flash originally was Barry Allen's father. But however, through the course of Barry disrupting, I guess...
Did they mess with timelines?
Exactly, of course. Don't they always?
They do.
So because of that, something occurred, and John Wesley became another alternate universe Flash. He became Jay Garrick, the traditional old school Flash with kind of the bucket hat and the arrows coming out in the red sweater. He became that Flash. He was that Flash. He makes occasional appearances on the Flash now. Before, as Barry's father, he was a lot more regular. But no, it's great to have him. It's kind of cool that he's, from the 90s, one of the first TV shows in this kind of new era of superhero media, to have him now. And Kelly who was part of X2, once again, the start, one of the genesis movies of this whole, cinematic universe of comic books that we have, whether it's Fox, Sony, or Marvel. William Catt, once again, greatest American hero.
What big superhero movies came out in the 90s?
Well, you got Blade, X-Men.
That came out in 2000.
Oh,
so
really?
I start thinking about, you talk about the groundwork laid for these movies. It's kind of like they had Batman, and then they had the 90s, and then
everybody
X-Men,
started doing...
And then you started having X-Men, Spider-Man, Marvel Cinematic Universe, et cetera.
The 90s were more... I feel like the movies were more about people talking to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also technology. It was also the...
I'm sure I'm forgetting one, but I just, off the top of my head, I'm like...
Blade.
What did the 90s bring us? Yeah, they did bring us Blade. That's true.
I believe, yeah.
Worth rebooting, Blade? Or worth continuing with Wesley, man. I saw him in Expendables 3. And
Black don't crack.
Yeah.
Black don't crack. We all know that. You think I'm 27. I'm not. I'm 90.
He really looks 27.
In fact, I'm asking you out of your time, period.
Your buddy Mike thought I was in my mid-20s.
Well, there you go.
It's very true.
He might have been hitting on me. I don't know.
He could have been. No. The only thing about you that gave away your age is just your ability to not be able to get off the couch. But other than that,
yeah, I was pretty unconscious a second ago. Yeah,
we're thrilled to have Mike here because he's in town for work, so that's cool.
Yeah. And when I'm in town, the first people I talk to, I reach out to you guys because I know I'm going to be on the show. I'm going to have fun. We're going to have fun.
So we're going to take the rest of this interview over to the web. I love doing that. It's like we're on the Daily Show, right? Go to the web to check out the rest of this. Go to our YouTube page. And
extra content.
You'll see extra content, more chatting with Mike McNutt. Well, there's another show talking about big-time summer movies. I love doing that. Every year, I don't care if they're good or bad. I just love summer movies. And Memorial Day, that's when everybody goes out. So I'm glad we could talk about them here today. And when I reflect on the show, I think that's the biggest thing I'm going to take away from it. Let's go around the table, though. What are you guys going to reflect on positively when you think of the show?
Well, I'm surprising myself. I think I want to go see the Pirates movie.
Me too.
They've made so many of them, it must be worth seeing. And I also want to go to NovaCon.
Yes.
I think the movie guys got to get a GoFundMe going so we can get to NovaCon.
Let's fire that up, absolutely. And, Bart's not here with his usual nonsense. So, Mike, let me ask you, what are you going to reflect on?
Biscotti!
Yay!
Biscotti again. That's great. Front plates, he did the whole thing.
Very nice.
Just like
Thank you. He thought ahead. He has Bart's special recipe. Thank you.
Can't beat him, join him, right?